So before introducing myself, so I want to introduce saasguru to everyone. I know most of the people are aware of saasguru, what saasguru and all these things about. So what saasguru is doing in Salesforce and AWS and there is now most of certifications, not only certification, boot camps, live sessions, all the things. We'll discuss more about the saasguru, and after that you can able to know myself also. So I'll introduce myself. Yeah, because I'm introducing saasguru because of saasguru only I'm able to join a guru as in saasguru, and I'm able to doing sessions and all the mentor kind of profiles and all the things in saasguru. So before going that, yeah, we can start right away. So saasguru is having a very well structured organized platform like regarding the study plan or boot camp or all the sessions that are going on. For suppose if you want to get hired in any MNC or any startup company, any company that is a partner of Salesforce or in a Salesforce company also, you should be, it's now mandatory, you should get certified right now, because getting certified is mandatory, because I'm suggesting you because I'm faced the situation and I came from the situation. Even Sadhguru helps me for getting certified in like sharing and with I want to prepare, I want to get certified in sharing visibility also. I'm preparing for that also. And app builder, admin, development, service cloud. There are so many certifications that are available, study courses that are available in Sadhguru. So yeah, this is the certification plan. So this is, I'll go through the website once again. And even going through the Salesforce, see Salesforce, why I want to make my career in saasguru as well as in Salesforce means, I mean, like with the help of Triled and saasguru, we'll be having so many study plans like both Triled sessions and modules, all the things that are happening in Triled. But when you come to get certified, mainly after getting Triled, it's not enough to get certified in if you want to book your slot in Criterion, go to Webmaster and book your slot for exam or any admin, PD1, developer, all the things, certificates, app builder. It's not mandatory. I mean, it's not enough to get clear with the help of Triled. With the help of both Triled and saasguru, you'll be able to clear your Salesforce certification with ease. Because I have done it with app builder and all these things. So yeah, and you can able to see my success, because I'm not a one person who is directly judging anything, just seeing itself. I have tried myself regarding saasguru and Triled, all the things. And going apart, I mean, like there's a beautiful Slack community that are having in saasguru. So you will be able to join. It's a free for everyone. You can able to join. So all of you able to join. You can reach out to the mentor. You can reach out to Slack community. All the things. There are so many groups and so many things are there available right now. So LinkedIn community also saasguru. If you want to have or interested in Salesforce, if you want to learn from scratch to any topic, you can able to follow LinkedIn and Triled, LinkedIn and Twitter for saasguru. So you can follow me also. Yeah. So there are live classes, boot camp. There are so many things. Interesting fun sessions are also there. You know what? I mean, like there are. So this is the first webinar of Salesforce Flows topic. This is the trending topic that is available in right now in market, because approval process and as well as in workflows are already expired. I mean, like we can't able to create new workflows or new workflow process. So yeah, that's all about saasguru. You can follow them in LinkedIn and Twitter. Yeah. So this is all about myself. So I'm in on IT background, and I'll keep it simple. I'll not take more time of yourself. So because you all joined regarding to learn Salesforce flows. So this is my introduction. I've been working as a software engineer at Tavan. I also came from a non-IT background, to frankly speaking. I mean, like I don't know much about Salesforce or nothing. Now getting saasguru given me opportunity to be a guru, and they have searched for the skills what they want to be get into a good company, and they've associated with me so that I can able to give back to the community what I learned from scratch. So I've been a Jarun Salesforce ambassador. This is mine. I mean, like I've been featured in the Jarun Salesforce website. So I'm featuring the Jarun Salesforce website. So this is all about me. I mean, like I'm working as software engineer at Tavan Technologies, and so you can able to register here if you want to register. You can just go to the website. I've been recently completed MuleSoft Industry Champion and the 5 Salesforce certified. All these things are going on. And from Jarun Salesforce and saasguru, they do help me a lot to building my career in Salesforce. Yeah, Flow Basics. What is completely Flow Basics? Like there are 4 automation tools that are available in Salesforce. Okay. And the Flow Basics, I mean, like there are four type of automation tools that are available in Salesforce as of now. So flow basics, in this task or in this topic, what we will learn: what are flows, flow components, and key terminologies, and flow builder overview. What is completely depending upon the flow builder? What is a flow builder and flow builder users and all the use cases and all the things, and types of flows. This is very very important because see, we in the admin or development part, when you attend any company for interview, they'll not ask you what is flow. Can you explain flow? These type of questions they will not ask. They'll ask about the types of flows and what the types of flows are useful. We will discuss in the later part. And key limits of the flow. This is also very important because the limits of flows you should know. You should be aware of it, because if you want to create any flow, you should be aware of all the key limits or governor limits or DML operations that are available in the Salesforce flows. Okay. So these are the links, because this is, I said to you earlier also, it's very well organized. The reference links also you cannot able to, you don't need to go to the Google Chrome or Safari or Mozilla Firefox and keep on searching Salesforce flows, trial on all these things. These are reference links are clearly given by the the saasguru website. It very well organized everything. This is the course that have been that I have been access to saasguru, because I be guru. I got the access, but you have to get to buy it, because it's for really less price, and I'll share the coupon code also. With the help of it, you can able to buy only Salesforce certification courses. Yeah, this is also one of the Salesforce certification courses. And going about, I'll share you both of these links, because you have to go to the hands-on. Simply learning, it's not all good. You have to get the hands-on also. Once completing this session, you can able to you have to do the practice session also. If you have any doubts, please reach out to me. I'm happy to help. What is a flow? For suppose if you take any Salesforce flow, if you want to create one flow, low automation code, okay, that's correct. Yeah, low code automation tool. It's a low code automation tool that meant to be a Salesforce flow. Okay, automation tool. Yeah, that's right. So if you want to create any flow, we should be aware of how should we create a flow that we can know from scratch in this session only. Okay. By the end of the session, you can able to create a flow with the help of how should we create and how should not we create. That like DML operations and limits on all the things comes in the concept. Okay, low code, no code. Yeah, fine. So this is the difference of it. Okay. I'm not explaining word by word, single by single. I'm not explaining by word by word or single by single line by line, because it's just a definition to get to know about yourself. Okay, what is the flow, and that's it. So you can able to create the wizards that will able to screen flows, trigger flows, record actions, and all the things. Because in flows there are so many things you can do with the help of and April process, as well as in the things you do in the April process, as well as in the workflows, we can able to do with the help of flow only. So that's the main beautiful thing that about flow, because that's the main thing. And Salesforce promoted flows, and they have stopped the updates, and they haven't released any updates regarding the workflows. They have completely stopped. We can't able to create new workflows. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, create, update, delete, and record triggered folds. Okay, I'll also show the hands-on also, don't worry. Okay, and we can able to do the run SQL queries and automatic collection of records, and we can able to do the SQL queries also. Okay, SOQL, SOSL, and all the things we can able to do. But we only right now you can do the SQL queries, and we can able to do scheduled triggered flows also. For suppose if the use case will be below. I will explain what is the scheduled triggered flow. Okay, I'm just mentioning the names because you should be catchy. When someone says what is the scheduled triggered flow, you should be able to scheduled triggered flow. I have heard somewhere. It's regarding the flow topic. Okay, it's all in the scheduled triggered flows we can able to do. At the specific time and frequency, we can able to do scheduled trigger flows. Okay, flow terminology. So first of all, the key concepts what you are able to do in the flow section means flow builder, flow version, and flow interview, and flow elements, flow connectors, flow resources, and flow template also. These are all related to only flow. We're not talking about, apart from flow, we're not talking anything. Just keep it on flow. That's it. Okay. So flow builder, it's a user-friendly interface and drag and drop functionality. And see, it's a low-code automation. You need not to be done any code here. So that is the beautiful thing. And going forward, only low-code automation. That if you know flow very well, you need not be able to do the code. So you need not to be a developer. Even the admin can also do all the things that a developer can do. So okay, why should we write a code when without the code we can do the low automation tool with the help of flow? So that's the use case here. Okay. Flow version also. Each flow in a mini application, we can able to save a number. I mean, like we can able to do the version number. Flow version, it depends upon the version what you're using. In the current release, it will be updated from one release to another release. The version number keeps on changing. Okay. It will not depend. It will depend upon the season release of Salesforce seasons release. Okay. Summer, spring, winter, and all the things. So flow interview. I mean, like running instance of a flow. When a flow asks for to a link, for suppose if you want to take one flow that is running. I mean, like the flow is running. You have activated the flow. The flow is running continuously. So if the flow asks for inputs or a link, I mean, like for suppose a link or a tab or what you call like a button or these all things we can able to know if you're getting into the Salesforce trial, if you have the hands on, you'll able to know all these things. That's very much easy. So you're running an instance of a flow. Okay, you're not running just a flow; it's an instance of a flow. And another user time you can able to separate the flow by passing through other inputs also. Okay, just keep involving and just keep focused because going on, you can able to learn and watch this video very carefully because I watched 3 times because even I know I have hands-on and flow builder and all these things. Before, if you want to know or learn, watching the things and keeping that concepts in mind is very much important. That's what I want to be do. And after that, you have to do the hands-on. If you simply do the session and if you listen to the session, my session, and if you understand, and after that 1 week, if you join another session also, it's be wasted for you. So frankly speaking, you have to do the hands-on and trial it, and you have so many resources right now. saasguru is one of the best resources that we're having in the internet right now. And flow elements represent the action on flow. For suppose if you created one flow, if you executed like reading or writing Salesforce data, like displaying information, all these things, like collecting so much of information from the input to the users. For suppose if you were a user, you were creating so much of information and collecting so much of data in one group. That's like flow elements. You can able to do this with the help of flow elements. Like flow connectors also. See, these are the things that we able to connect the elements. Like one flow, screen flow, connector flow, like all the things we can able to trigger flow. All these things, screen, these all these things I'll let you know. I'm just explaining so that you will be able to know the catchy element. If you don't know about the difference, that's completely fine. But what the things you should keep in mind means like flow elements, flow connectors. You should be able to flow connector. Okay, this is the thing. Sukesh told me that. Okay, flow connectors. Okay, this flow connector flow elements do these type of things in the case of flow. So difference nobody will ask you. It's just to understand you. Okay, just go through saasguru and this very much good. And flow connectors and as I said you. And after that flow resources also. See, it's nothing but what is representing in a flow like a variable or a constant or a pick list values or formula. These all things we can able to do with the flow resources. Okay. In flow template also a reusable flow template. I'm talking about the flow template. Okay. A reusable flow that can be extended to create other flows also. See, you can able to create multiple flows. Okay, that we can see in the later part. So a flow can be defined as a template while saving it. If you want to save it, the flow, you'll be able to see the template also. So it can be able to download it from AppExchange. You know AppExchange, right? AppExchange, if you want to know. Yes, yes, yes. I forgot, right? Sorry. Setup, you'll be able to find the AppExchange. Yeah, you can able to find AppExchange. Anyway, I'll send you. That's okay. So until then, I mean, like you can able to watch this video. Um, because flow, I mean, like with reading the things or something related to flow, you can't able to learn from flow from scratch. You can able to see the watch the video carefully, and after that, if you have any doubts, you can ask me in the last section. Just a second. I'll share with the sound. Yeah.
In this video, we'll cover In this video, we'll cover Intro to the Flow Builder, scroll to the top right and access Setup. Type in Flows in the Quick Find section. The Flows page has a list view that allows you to organize your flows better, much like an object list view. For example, I have created a list view of active flows, wherein I have applied a filter of active equals to true so that I can see only my active flows. I will go ahead and create a new flow by clicking on this button. The first screen will ask you which type of flow you want to create. There are 5 types of flows. We'll cover more detail about each flow type and when to use them in a separate video. You will also see All Plus Templates tab. These are all the different types of pre-built templates that Salesforce provides that you can use as a base or as a starting point to create your flow. You can also see the Flow Orchestrator has also been added in this tab itself. In this example, we'll get started with the screen flow. The next screen you will see is the type of layout that you want to start with. Freeform allows you to drag and drop elements, while Auto Layout makes the flow more structured. By organizing the element and keeping it clean, we'll start with the Freeform option. You can also select a Freeform flow layout and then convert it into an Auto Layout by clicking on this toggle. At first, you will see this white space, which is the canvas is, where you can add different elements and connect them. It gets rendered like a flow diagram and makes it intuitive for you to see the different elements. On the left, you will see the toolbox, which has 2 tabs, Elements and the Manager. Let's start with Elements first. Each element represents an action that the flow will execute, like reading or writing Salesforce data, executing any business rule that you have written. Broadly, there are 3 kinds of elements: interaction, logic, and data. Interaction elements are those where the flow interacts with the user, system, or any other flow. Logic elements are the building blocks that define the process of the flow. An example: let's consider a decision element, which evaluates the rules and determines the next running element. If x is equal to y, then take path 1. If x is not equal to y, then take path 2. You will typically use a decision element to evaluate a rule like this. Then you have data elements, which are used to perform data manipulation to the back end. You can create records, update records, read records, and so on. The next tab is the Manager tab. It allows you to organize the different resources that are used in the flow and also create new resources. So, by just clicking on this New Resource button, you'll see the different types of resources. The most commonly used is Variable. Variable is a temporary placeholder of data and just like an object field. Here also you can define the different types of variables like text record, which essentially means what kind of value can this variable store. We'll cover more about how to declare a variable and how to use it in a flow in a separate video. Then the rest of the variables are simpler to use, like constant. The value of such a resource remains static or same all throughout the flow. Then you have a formula resource, which is essentially like an object formula field. The rest of the resources are relevant to screen flows, and we'll be covering them in separate videos. Let's start by adding a screen element to the flow. Let's define the name of the screen element. The API name gets automatically populated from the label. You can drag and drop or move this because we are in the Freeform layout. With these buttons at the bottom, you can zoom in and zoom out. With this button, you can select any element in the flow. Scrolling to the top right, you will see the button to undo and redo any changes that you did. So, just clicking it would take you to the prior state of the flow. With this button, you can copy any element that you have selected. Let's select this element, and clicking on this button will create a duplicate of the selected element. Please note, even though the name looks same, but the API name is different, as Salesforce automatically adds 0 to the suffix. This gear icon will become clickable once you save the flow. So, let's start by saving the flow. Clicking on Save lets you define the name. You can add a description of what is the relevance of the flow so that anyone accessing it can reference and get to know. Let's click on this Show Advanced button and let me walk you through all of the fields here. First is how to run the flow. There are 3 options listed in this option. Let's cover user context first. User context means that the user who's running the flow, his or her profile and permissions set assigned will determine the access to the record and field level permissions. For example, if the running user does not have edit permission on the account object and the flow attempts to update records, an error will occur. Similarly, system context means that all of these settings permissions will get neglected, and in this context, the system or the user will have access to view and modify all data. However, depending on the type of way this flow is distributed or launched, the context gets determined. For example, if the flow is being invoked or accessed via an action or button, then the user context gets applied. And if the flow is being accessed by Process Builder or Apex code, then the system context will get applied. Now within the system context, you have two more options if you want to default it to system context all the time. With sharing option enforces org-wide settings, role hierarchy of the running user who has launched the flow, whereas without sharing will neglect all the permissions and have access to view and modify all data. Next field is the type. It's the flow type that we started with. You can select any other type if you want to. Let's say clone this flow into any other type of flow. Source template is the pre-built template that you started with when creating this flow. This template checkbox will be handy if you want to convert this flow into a base template so that it can be used as a starting point to create other flows. You will have to create new references to distribute this flow like buttons, etc. Let's say if you've created an onboarding process for head office employees, the steps are same for head office employees, but the steps may vary for regional employees. Then you can create a base flow and then copy this flow to segregate the steps to onboard regional employees. Moving ahead, original flow is the overridable flow that you started with. Overridable means that it allows you to make changes to the existing flow without manually changing the references to the original flow. For example, if the flow was made overridable by the developer and the admin just wants to replace a screen element of the flow, then the newly overrided flow will replace the original flow on the Lightning page automatically, so the user will not have to remove the references manually. If a flow is overridable, then only you will see it in the original flow. API version, think of it as the different versions of the app's operating systems. A newer version will have the latest features added by Salesforce. So, whenever you create a flow by default, it will always select the latest API version. If you want to move via older flows to a new API version, you can do that. But make sure to test the flow so that it does not break or cause any errors when you're migrating it to a new version. Interview label is used to uniquely identify a flow. It appears in the error emails that comes to an admin when a flow error occurs. It also appears when a flow is paused in the Lightning page. So, by default, as you can see, the name is static, flow name plus current date time is the default syntax. But you can change or customize it as per your naming convention. Now, let's go ahead and save this flow. There are a few things that happened. First of all, this gear icon is visible. So here you can see all those properties that we just saw. And here you will see these warning or error message that Salesforce tries to warn you that these are the different errors or warnings that may occur. So, make sure to remove all these warnings before you start testing or running this flow. Let's go ahead and remove these warnings by connecting the elements. Just drag and drop like this. Now, as you save the flow, these warnings and errors will go away. Next, let's understand the Run and Debug buttons. Run and Debug buttons are similar and they both run the latest saved version of the flow. The difference is Run just executes the flow steps, whereas Debug executes the flow steps and shows you the execution details one step at a time so that you can troubleshoot the flow. Let's understand this by clicking on the Debug button. We'll understand the different debug options in a separate video. Let's run the flow for now. I've added a display image to my screen element, as you can see here. So, that is being carried out and you can see who started the flow, the latest API version of the running flow, and whether or not any changes were made to the database. If I click on Next, you will see the next screen element getting executed and the context available of what was executed in the debug flow and if there were any changes were done. Let's now close this window and activate the flow. If I'm satisfied with the flow and there are no errors, I can activate. When you activate it, you will see this deactivate button appear. In the event of an error, you will deactivate the flow and make any necessary changes. So, if I make a change here and slightly change the display text.
Yeah. So I think the video is very much clear because I also watched more than 3 times because to know it better how the flow works, because watching the video and having the hands-on is enough as of now, but going through earlier, but you should know how the flow works from scratch. How should you work from like screen flow, auto, these are the flow types. So as a like, for suppose if you go to create one flow, so this is the app exchange. I just want to like take it recently. I mean, like from 9 years, Salesforce is number one in business app marketplace. It's number one CRM in the world. So this is the app exchange, I said you earlier. So like forgot. I mean, like I haven't used the app exchange from almost 6 months or something. So yeah, going forward, so for suppose if you want to create any flows, I mean, like if you want to create a flow, just go through the log into your Salesforce account and set up. And after that, you can go to the quick find box and can type as flow, and you'll be able to create the flows. Okay, these are the flows that I created. So there are so many types of flows, as I told you, all like it's showing like all flows, triggered flows. So if you want to like create a new flow, for suppose just a normal flow, not a triggered flow, just a new flow. See, this is screen flow, schedule trigger. This all depend upon the business criteria use case that you want to create. Just a second. Here we will be having the use cases. I mean, like these insights, and there's also having one video use case is having, and I will let you know. So for what use case you want to create a screen flow or a auto launcher flow. For which use case you have to create a screen flow or auto launcher flow or record trigger flow. So these are the flow types. Okay, screen flow, auto launcher flow, record trigger flow, and schedule triggered flow, and platform event triggered flow. These are the flows. And learn flows because it's very much important. As going forward, it all depends upon the flows. Yeah, it's like all the things. Why should we use? For suppose if you want to use a screen flow, like user interaction and so, it should be able to help you with the interface that we have. You can be able to create a flow with the help of a screen flow very easily. This is the screen flow if you want to create. And there are two types like auto layout and free form. Like this is the free form. For suppose if we're taking a screen, I want to name it. This is the screen action subflow. These are all the things we can able to. These are the elements. So this is the flow builder. Okay. And this is the help of a screen builder. We can able to do so many things. This all you can go to the link and read, because while I'm explaining this all the things in hands-on, it's very much helpful. But going through reading one line by line, you can go to the saasguru website and you can read the things right away. And auto launcher flow, it able to help you in the like in background only. You can able to run like creating custom buttons or effects or all the things like stuff flow and all the things you can able to do with the help of auto launcher flows. Okay, in the background only we can able to do with the help of what record trigger flow. For suppose if you want to create a if you want to create a schedule triggered flow, platform event trigger flow, this all record trigger flow. For suppose if you want to create a record trigger flow, okay, because that's the thing we are discussing. If you want to create a record trigger flow, you should be able to having the business criteria or the use case why we want to create a record trigger flow. If the requirement that need our criteria, then we can able to create a actually we don't have any link actually, so you have to like take this course. I mean, like it's very much cheap. I mean, like cheaper when we come to the normal courses prices. So I'll share you the coupon code later, so you can able to watch this video carefully, and you'll also have the reference links also. I'll do this just a second. I'll send the reference links also. I mean, like a reference links so that you can able to do. But videos and all the things you can able to access the saasguru website directly. Okay, so yeah, going to the topic, like record trigger flow, it runs in the background as well as in when the record is created or updated or deleted. The three types of things we can able to do the record triggered flow. And as a replacement of workflow rules or process builder, the more flexibility or the before save or after save, we can able to do the thing with a record trigger flow. But we need not to be go to the approval process or workflow rules, because we'll having so many type of flows in the like lightning flows, screen flows, so many type of flows are available in flow builder. Okay, that's the help of flow builder. And the schedule triggered flow is also available. So this is also same. See, flow we can't able to see like we can have to sit in the lappy and we have to open a lap. It is not enough. You can do other section of Salesforce things like in our org. We can do so many things. Apart from that, the flow will be also schedule trigger and record trigger. They'll be automatically do their own work in the background itself. Okay. And at the schedule time and frequency it will do, because schedule means what's the meaning of schedule triggered flow. It should be triggered at the scheduled particular time or a moment of time, and like frequency it should be mentioned. That's the help of schedule triggered flow. But platform event triggered flow is also like, see, runs when a platform event occurs. The platform event, for suppose if you create a platform event, just a second. If you create a platform event triggered flow, see, the platform event triggered flow. We have to choose one platform. Depending upon the business criteria, we have to create one. These all you can able to have the hands-on. I send the links and you can able to access the saasguru website. You can go through it. No worries. So this is having a like use case, solution, and reason also. For suppose, uh, like what's the beautiful insight means, like it will be able to having the multiple triggers. Like if you want to subscribe to the insetting or updating records and all the things, you can able to do platform events on custom notifications. When Salesforce and external system communicate with each other, like if you want to communicate with the help of platform events like Salesforce and external system, we'll be able to doing a beautiful. We'll be having this insight that will be helpful for our Salesforce flows also. This is just an example. Okay, use case, I mean, like the sales manager at Sun, for suppose one sales manager at Sun Solar, if you take Sun Solar as a company, sales manager at Sun Solar company needs to automatically create a renewal opportunity. For suppose if you want to automatically, if he should not be able to do it manually. He said that I want to do it automatically to create a renewal opportunity. Opportunity is a object for the service maintenance plan for 1 month before the end date of the contract. Before the for suppose if the sales manager in the Sun Solar needs to automatically create a renewal opportunity. For suppose if you want to do 1 month before the date of contract is ending, then which automation tools can an administrator use to accomplish this? This is the use case, okay, that we are having in this task. So solution will do the schedule triggered flow. Why schedule triggered flow we have to do means runs in the background. This is the beautiful thing. And after that we will be able to do it the schedule time and frequency. If you mention schedule time and frequency, you can able to do this thing. That's the thing. Okay. And I'm sorry, I'm off the video, so I don't know. And this is the thing, because a scheduled trigger flow, this is the reason why we want to do only with the scheduled trigger flow, why we will only use the scheduled trigger flow for this use case. A scheduled trigger flow can be defined at the specific time and frequency, as I said earlier, and query get the contracts, how many contracts are available in the system. Those we can able to define criteria. So note, this is very much important. So note that the maximum number of records fetched from scheduled triggered flow per 24 hours. 24 hours approximately can take like 1 day, is only 250,000. Only 250,000 of records can be used. I mean, like can be fetched from the record section using the scheduled trigger flow per 24 hours. You can only fetch the records only 250,000. That's the limit of a scheduled trigger flow. Okay. These are the flow limits, as I said earlier. Okay. Flow limits are very much important key limits. Okay. Usage entitlements, general limits, and governor limits. Okay. These are for suppose if you want to know about the user entitlements, then you can able to know much more about the per month elements, entitlements for suppose like allocation based on the org. They are like enterprise edition, developer edition, sandbox, and all the things are there. Okay, depending upon the editions, they'll be able to having the maximum amount of flow entries. Okay, depending upon the enterprise edition, what you're having currently using in your company. Like general limit max version per flow can be only 50. Only 50 we can able to have the one flow. I mean, like max version can be only 50 versions can be able to have one flow. Okay, that's that only for one flow you will be only having 50. And scheduled trigger flow interviews per 24 hours is 250,000, as I said earlier. Keep all these things in mind, and it will be helpful definitely. And the number of user licenses up multiplied by 200 or whichever is greater. Okay, this is also a criteria. And governor limits also. Per transaction, apex governor limits apply and flows. Okay, following are the key governor limits. See, these are the governor limits that See, if you're creating a flow, the governor limits comes in the picture directly. Because without knowing the governor limits, you can't able to create. Because if you want to create also, it will throw you error directly. Without clearing the error, you can't able to save or activate the activate the flow. That's the key motive thing you all able to know. So total number of SQL queries, like get records event, the transaction should be only 100. For suppose if you want to know only total number of SQL queries you only have to know only 100. 100 should be the maximum amount of number per transaction. Okay. Total number of records retrieved by the SQL queries. It's not about the fetching the records. It's about the retrieving the records. By retrieving the SQL queries, you will be getting only 50,000. That's the total amount of record. That's the limit. That's the governor limit. You'll be hitting the governor limit. I think you will be able to see in LinkedIn all the things in Twitter also DML operation. What is the DML operation? Data manipulation language. Go in Google and search it. What's DML? You'll be able to learn. And that's not only a big thing. And number of DML statements that can be able to do like create, update, delete, record. That should be issued. It should be only 150. Okay, 150. That's it. And SQL like SQL, SQL, as I said, only will be able to support only SQL like Salesforce Object Query Language, as you know earlier, is a language that is used to query the database. In the database, you will be able to know. I mean, like you will be able to query the things that are available in Salesforce or developer edition or like select ID from account. This is a basic query you can able to do. Like account, if you want to fetch the data, I mean, like if you want to get the data from the records or contacts, this thing you will be able to do this SQL. Data manipulation language is a language like used to make changes to the database. See, completely depends upon the database things, all the things like variables, like all this constants and all the things. Insert text. This is just an example. Update, insert, delete, all the things you can able to do. Like insert also you can able to do. A flow transaction depends upon the type of a flow. Example for a stream flow. See, this is the type of stream flow. Stream flow just requires user interaction. That's it, and shows them interface. Stream flow is nothing but it will show you interface, as I said to you. Yeah, this is the stream flow. This is just an interface. Okay, if you want to create, I mean, like it's a free form or that's not mandatory. But if once you create the free form, also you can change the auto layout. That's not an issue. But you should save the flow. That should be the thing, because without saying, if you get internet connection problems or something like power off or internet shutdown, something like that, then you will be able to worry. You should save the flow right away after you showing the step-by-step process. Yeah.
In this video, we will learn how to create a record-triggered flow. We will be automating this use case. The manager at Universal Containers has asked the system administrator to automate the following when an opportunity is updated. Create a draft contract when opportunity stage is updated to negotiation review. Post a charter if a big deal greater than $500,000 is closed won. Update value closed lost business field on account if the opportunity is closed lost. In our record triggered flow, we will use the decision and assignment elements as well as the update records element. Additionally, fault connector will also be used for error handling. Using this account X communications for testing. So, I've already created a field value lost business of type currency, which will be populated with the opportunity amount as soon as the opportunity is marked closed lost. Here we have 4 opportunities against the account, 3 are closed won and 1 is open. So, we will be using this opportunity in proposal price quote to test our flow. Now, let's go to flows and click on new flow, select record triggered flow. Then select the object on which your flow is supposed to run. Here it will be opportunity. When is your flow supposed to run? Here we'll select when a record is updated, because with the assumption that opportunity will never get created in the negotiation closed lost or closed won stage directly. Set any entry conditions that should be met for your flow to run. We will skip this part as it's not relevant to our use case. Optimize the flow for fast field updates. This is a before save record triggered flow used when you want to update fields on the current record. Actions and related records will create an after-save record triggered flow which is used when you want to make any updates to any record other than the triggering record and perform actions like sending an email, posting to Charter, etc. We'll use actions and related records as per use case. Next, click on plus and first, we'll start with the decision element to check for the opportunity stage. Name it check for opportunity stage. API name will pre-populate. Let's add a few outcomes that will get checked. First is negotiation review. Then we will use the record global variable and fetch the stage name equals negotiation review. When to execute if the condition requirements are met, so we'll select the first option. Let's add a new outcome for closed won and another for closed lost. Now, go back to closed won and add our conditions using the record global variable. Click equals closed won. We will keep the condition as is, and for closed lost record stage name equals closed lost and click on done. Now we have 4 potential paths that our triggering record can take. In negotiation review, we need to create a draft contract record. So here we'll use create records and create draft contract. How many records to create one? How to set the record fields. Either we can use a record single variable to get all the values of the contract record, or we can set the values here itself one by one. I'll use all values from record and define a record single variable with resource type variable. We'll name the API as var contract to insert. The data type is going to be record. We'll not select allow multiple values because a single contract record will get created. Object contract, and since we need to use this variable only inside the flow, so we'll not select available for input or output and the click on done. Now, we have not defined or not set our var contract variable, so let's set it up. Before the creation, click on plus and use the assignment
this
variable.
is not on trial, I think so. I mean, like, only this is content that is especially available on saasguru. I hope I'm audible to everyone. So yeah. So that's the main thing. You can go to the saasguru website. See, if you like the content, you can go through. This is the content that's available in the saasguru website. Just go to the saasguru website, and if you have any queries, you can go through it. Yeah.
And contract values, and let's use our VR contract to insert. Now, what all fields do we need to set in our contract? Here is a contracts tab. Click on new. The fields marked in red asterisks are mandatory, such as account name, status, start date, and term. Whereas the contract currency is default populated with USD. Let's use these fields in our flow. VR contract to insert, and let's first set the account ID. We can get the account ID from the current record using the record global variable and click on account ID and ID like this. Add assignment, VR contract to insert. To set the start date, let's create a formula which will point to today's date. So, let's use the resource type as formula today's date. Next, the data type is going to be date, and let's use the today function and then click on done. Similarly, let's set the contract term equal to a static value of 12 and the status to draft. So, these are all the mandatory fields, and click on done. Now the values will be set using this assignment element, and they will be used to insert a contract in draft status. Now let's go to closed won. When an opportunity is closed won, we need to post to Charter. But first, we also need to update our closed won outcome and add another condition to opportunity, amount greater than 500,000. Let's add it here. Let's use the record global variable and amount greater than or equal to 500,000. Now let's come back and post to Chatter. Go to Actions, and in these predefined actions by Salesforce, if you'd search by Chatter, you will find Post to Chatter predefined action. Let's name the label as Big Deal Alert. Here you can define the values of the Charter message. So, with the message, either you can add a static message, or you can create a text variable and set up a message dynamically with merge fields like the account name, opportunity amount, opportunity owner, and tag them in the message body. In this example, I'll keep the message as static, Big Deal Alert. In the target name field, where do you want to post your Charter message? I want to post it against the opportunity record. I'll again use the record variable and get the current record's ID. If you want to post it to the Experience Cloud site, you can click on Include, Target Type, or if you want to post it to a group bracket, you can use that target type, and visibility can be used to control who sees the chat or message. So, we'll skip all of this as it's not relevant to our use case and click on Done. Moving on to Closed Lost, we need to update the related account record. So, let's go to Update Records and Update Account Record. In how to find the relevant account record to update, use the opportunity record that triggered the flow. Will not select this, as this will just update the current triggering record. Use the IDs and all field values from record or record collection. Had we stored the account ID in a separate variable, we could have used this option. But in this instance, I'll use the third condition, specify conditions to identify records and set fields individually. Next, I'll select object as the key updated. Here, we must define filter account records that require updating. We can obtain the account ID from the current opportunity ID. Use the record global variable, accountID.id. And what values do we need to set? So, we need to set the value lost business, and we need to increment the current amount to the existing value lost business. Here we will create a formula, new resource formula, increment lost business value, select the data type to be currency, decimal places to be 0, and get the current value lost business from the opportunity record variable account ID.value lost business. Plus add the current opportunity amount and click on Done. We have now created an update record element. For default outcome, if this is not done, so the process is going to end automatically. And if the draft records is not getting created, we can add a fault path and maybe even send an email. Because this is a record-triggered flow, we cannot add a screen, but we can add customized email messages to be sent to a group of folks. Similarly, if the big deal alert chatter notification fails, we can add a fault path. Let's add another fault path if this update doesn't go through. Now we'll save our flow and name it Update Opportunity Values and then click on Save. Now, we'll go ahead and debug our flow. Click on Debug. The path for debug run is run immediately, because we have no scheduled path. Run flow in rollback mode means any changes done during debugging will be rolled back. Let's use our demo opportunity and update the triggering record. Let's keep the stage as is and click on Run. Now, it took the negotiation review path, and let's see if our contract was created. Yes, our contract was created with these values. This is correct. Now let's click on Debug again and change the opportunity status stage to Closed 1. In this case, the default outcome got executed. Let's check in the decision element. So, the Closed 1 stage is true, but the record amount is not greater than 500,000 for Big Deal Alert, so that's why it took the default outcome, which is correct. Let's debug again, and this time change our opportunity stage to Closed Lost and click on Run. The Closed Lost part is getting executed. Now if we come here and see in the update records, the value lost business is getting increment to 270,000, which is correct. This is right. Now let's activate our flow. Now, let's go back to our opportunity and run this. The account value lost business is 0. Let's go to our opportunity and change the amount to greater than 500,000. Let's say 600,000. Update the stage to proposal review and click on Save. And now let's change our opportunity to negotiation review and see if a contract gets created. If we go to contracts, we can see a contract for Edge Communications has been created. Now if I go back to my opportunity, let's change the stage to Closed 1 and see for Charter Post gets created. So we encountered an error, as approval is required for high-value opportunity. There is validation that is running in the background. Let me remove that quickly. Navigate to Validation Rules and click on Edit and deactivate this validation rule. Let's try and change our opportunity once again to Closed 1. If I go to Charter, there is a Charter Post that was posted Big Deal Alert. Now let's change our status from closed won to closed lost and see if the account field is getting increment. For 600,000, if I go to my account, the value lost business is 600,000. So, we have created an office a record triggered flow and successfully tested this. Thank you for watching.
Yeah, that's the sneak peek about the record triggered flow. So yeah, as I said earlier, it's very much organized. You can just go through it, yeah, to the saasguru website, and you can book your plan, like a study plan, like Salesforce flows and all the topics are available right away. So this is the use case. I mean, like we're running out of time. So this is the use case and this is the flow solution. I mean, like for suppose if you take any Cosmo properties are like object, like Cosmo properties wanted a templated process for sending branded surveys that are easy to configure and can be accessed on mobile also. We can able to access that mobile also in their mobile also. So they only have an admin that manages their org. Only admin is available in their org, so that he can able to manage all the things what are happening in their org, in the developers org or someone org. So in no one in no in-house development team. Okay, only admin is available. The management has maxed out their budget. Like they are out of their budget and they don't know what to do. So they have to take a quick care on what things we have to do so to get this done by within the time. So which app exchange item should the admin consider? Flow solutions, because directly flow solutions, because there are pre-built plug and play flow solutions are available, like say for flow connectors and flow solution and all the things I said earlier. Just a second. See, flow entry, flow elements, flow connector, flow resource, these all things are available in the flows only. In the flow builder, flows are available. So that's the thing here. And such flow solutions and under solutions are type in app exchange. And there are links I have given. Just a second. And this is the quiz section. If you want to try it, you can try it in saasguru website. Yeah. So I have taken a quiz also. I'm launching the quiz right away. See, this is just about not getting right or wrong. You're getting points or something, nothing. You just I'm just having to have a quiz section the last of my every session, because I can able to know how much you have learned from my session and how much you have understood. It's just for a basic understanding. So I'm launching the quiz right away. So please poll and get to know yourself. So how much learning I mean like you have done regarding flow topics.